How old were you when you came to Australia?
11.
11?
11.
Okay, so how did that happen?
When I came to Australia,
Yeah.
well, I was reuniting by my mom.
Okay.
So we didn't have, like I said, like my mom left me when I was 2. So I was rejoining with my mom.
Okay, so she left when you were 2. When did you realize there was a war? Or how old were you when the war?
So during two, she left when I was around maybe 5. That's when she left because it was bad.
It was bad.
And they were looking for nurses to come to Australia. So that's how she got the opportunity to come to Australia. She was a nurse in Malago Hospital. And she also sold stuff in the markets because I came from a polygamous family.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How did you seeing that, did that affect, or did you look at relationships in a different way?
I don't want that. I know what I don't want.
Okay. Why not?
I know. What do you mean? Why not?
Like, what made you see that and say, I don't want this, or?
Because it doesn't add value. Like, I can ask you, are you in a relationship?
Yeah.
What kind of relationship is it?
Monogamous.
Exactly. But why do you choose that?
Because to pour into one person, that's all the effort and the thing that I need. Like, imagine spreading that out.
Exactly. And a lot of African families back home are like that. I don't know if you've been. Have you been?
I have. I've heard about it quite a lot.
It's quite common in a lot of African countries, and it's the culture. It's also back in the days, it was all about how many cows, how many children. For them, they were thinking, the mentality was different. So, and that can be, such our parents' choices can be detrimental kind of to us. And that's why you need to work through those things. When we grow up and you come here and you start realizing, oh my gosh, I thought that was the norm. Actually, no, things can be right. And we can live right, and you can love right, and you should honor your wife, and those things. And then you're like, oh my gosh, like your eyes open up, you see clearly, you know what I mean?
And I think sometimes because because I remember there's a friend of mine who also comes from a polygamous family,
and he was like, oh my gosh, I think I'm gonna be polygamous. I don't care having all these guys. For me, I cannot invest in so many people. I'm not a serial dater. I got no time. I feel like every time you meet people, even like sitting here, I'm giving you my time, and I feel like I'm investing
so much, you know what I mean? And that's what it takes. Like when you meet people, you see them, you're present.
Can you imagine if you're doing that to 20 people a day? That is a lot. It takes away a lot from you, and also you give yourself a lot. At the end of the day, you're like, why am I doing this? You know what I mean? What am I receiving from this? We just, what is this? Time is valuable. You never get it back. So you got to spend it with the people that cherish it and give it back to you, Mm-hmm. So you benefit from it, and I think that's the best way. They always say, choose your people and give them the best time of your life.
Yeah.
You make memories.
Yeah, it's true. I found that interesting, even just you saying that. I'm like, wow, how much of seeing that would have, just even mentally, because like you said, you said it was a friend who they had a polygamous relationship with their parents, right?
Yeah, like he came from that. So he was telling me, what, Suzan, sometimes I feel like I'm a copy of my dad. But when you're young, you copy what you've seen.
Your conditioning.
It's where you've lived. It's where you start copying things like that, But you can unlearn those things, and you can be better, and you can make the choices for yourself. And that's why I say all this in my book. Like, some of us come from trauma. I talk about trauma and triggers. You could be coming from a place where there was a lot of war. You're used to where there is war, fights, and you have to fight back, or you saw tribes fighting. So you come here and you start modeling that in any situation. Or you play the victim part. We are all like, of course, like you can, I'm not saying that things can be fair, but you can choose to innovate your mind to see different. Does that make sense? You can choose to say, I don't want to model my life. If you're struggling with something and let me say, as Africans, we all have gone through so much trauma, whether it's childhood trauma or family trauma or social, cultural, depending on where you grow up. You know what I mean? Some people came on ship, some people were refugees escaping something. We all came for different reasons as immigrants, but we have the responsibilities as immigrants to better ourselves and to see the best out of where we are.
Please take time to have a look at Suzan's book, Unapologetically Black. Link in the description. Get to reading.